I remember a time where there was one day, I remember this one morning sticks out. I don't know why or how it happened. One morning I woke up and I said, I'm going to wake up. It was the night before. I'm going to wake up like an hour earlier before I have to go to school. This was when I was in high school. I'm going to wake up an hour earlier before I have to go to school, and I'm going to run because I need to start working out. So I'm going to run. I'm going to run all the way to the school, and I'm going to run up the bleachers and down the bleachers, some movie. And of course I was listening to like Rocky II, the training montage. And I'm going to run all the way back, and I'm going to do this every single day. I was so out of shape that I got in the shower and I almost threw up. I pushed myself so far beyond my limits. What it goes to show you is that when we look from the teacher's point of view and the educator's point of view, we look at students in high school, and it is our nature to put subconscious boxes around them in their abilities to not only push themselves, but their ability to do things that you would never think, I guess, normal for a high school student to do. And getting up an hour early before they have to wake up. Remember, at high school, we had to be at school at 7:30. So I was waking up at like 5:30, and that's not typical. It's just not typical. And we usually, it's as much as we don't want to, we put boxes around our students because that's our job. We want to teach them. So if they're here, we have to bring them over to here. And to do that, we have to break down the box that they're in and show them X, Y, Z, and have them then analyze and do and synthesize X, Y, Z. Okay, great. What I'm going to talk to you about is communication. I think communication, when it comes to personal development, when it comes to becoming the best student that these kids possibly can become, is such a huge, tremendous, and important factor that is very much overlooked. It is very easy to be in a position where we're hiding in a way behind these devices, and we're losing out on so many nuances when it comes to communication. So let's break this down to things that you already know and you're aware of. 93% of our communication is nonverbal. What I'm really trying to say is that 7% of our communication is the words we actually say. I like ice cream. That's only 7% of the equation. I could say, I like ice cream. Or I could say, I like ice cream. Two very different, totally different ways of communicating the fact that I like ice cream. So when students, they're trying to figure themselves out, they're trying to become the best version of themselves, they're trying to navigate through not only high school, but then on through college, and they have to excel at that trait. And they know they do, but they are really kind of stuck. They may consider themselves introverts, and not only that, they may have spent much less time than we have in interacting with other people face-to-face because of the technological world we live in. So if you don't already know, I'm going to break it down for you. How do we teach communication? Well, it's obviously words we say, but not only that, it's our physical body. It's our stance, how we're standing. If I'm standing like this, and I got my head in my hands, and I'm just like, whatever, and I'm slouched over, and I'm breathing shallow, I'm showing and I'm communicating that I don't want to be here. I'm not interested in what you have to say. I don't care. Please get me out of here, right? All those things. But if I'm sitting up straight, if I'm, breathing deeply, if I've got good posture, if I have a really power stance, then that's a completely different thing that I'm trying to communicate. Number 2 is your facial expressions. Facial expressions is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful things because you don't even need to do anything other than move your eyebrows, mouth, and nose. Like, that is just a tremendous way to communicate so many different emotions. And how many times have students been looking at, especially when it comes to a parent's point of view, when they're looking at the parents and man, does a look say 1,000 words, right? So facial expressions. And some of the ways that you can just literally practice that is go in front of a mirror and try to say the same sentence with different facial expressions. So again, I like ice cream. I like ice cream. I like ice cream. It's hard because you even heard that my inflections started to match my facial expression, which leads me to my third point of communication, which is vocal inflection. If students oftentimes find themselves ending everything with a question, then they're not going to be really taken seriously. And then they're going to have problems like, going for an interview because they're going to sound unsure of themselves because, or maybe they're saying filler words like some things I do all the time. So we're all working at it. We're all doing different, we're all moving in the right direction here. But inflection is a big one. If I say everything like this, then that's really, really intense. And I mean, I'm not trying to be intense, but that's really intense. Right? And of course, inflection also comes into play with all the different parts of your voice, your dynamic, meaning your loudness, right? Or how soft you're speaking, your speed and your rate of speech. So if you're talking really fast and you're talking to somebody down south, they're going to be like, whoa, I don't really trust this guy because down here we like to take things a little bit slower. So these things that they'll pick up and learn over time, obviously not necessarily maybe in high school, but as they navigate through the world. The other and fourth part of nonverbal communication is your hand gestures. If I am trying to tell someone that I really, really like them, I really, really like them, I think they're a great person, I think they're really awesome, there is some there's some incongruence here. Incongruence there. There is some really weird kind of thing because I got my hand out in front and like pushing and down, right? But if I'm saying with an open palm saying, I really like you. I think you are awesome. I think you're such a special person. And just the fact that I've got my hands up like this. Now, I use a lot of hand gestures. I'm all over the place, and that helps me usually communicate what I'm trying to say. But for some people, that's very aggressive. It's very over the top. And that's just who I am. It's very hard for me to dial that down unless I can see and read that person and say, okay, something's up with them. Let me reassess, tone in, and just kind of try to match and mirror. So that's another skill that you can teach your students, that matching and mirroring. And this is part of like that neuro-linguistic NLP type of stuff, but it is very powerful where you match and mirror somebody. So if they're going to go into an interview, I think is a great example to teach them. And it's tricky because it's the last thing they should be thinking about. But if they're able to get to that point where they're kind of just focusing on the posture and the general stance of that person. So if the interviewer is sitting back and they've got their hands, their leg crossed, and they've got their hands folded like this, if the interviewee matches that exact stance and crosses their leg and folds their hands, there's gonna be that extra something special where the interviewer is gonna be like, I like that person. There's something about that guy. It's just really right. Now, it can go to the point where, every time they drink a glass of water, you drink a glass of water. Don't do that. That's ridiculous. That's a weird thing, and they're going to catch that, and they're going to be like, please, we're not hiring this person. I think all of these types of nonverbal communication is very important. And the reason I'm telling you this today is because I myself have just recently actually was in a position where someone was communicating and saying words to me that was not matching their nonverbal communication. And what they were doing was they were staring at me intently and would not take their eyes off me. And whether they knew it or not, I didn't even want to think about it. That's extremely aggressive. Do you see every time I'm talking to you, every once in a while, I'll just look to the side. I'll be thinking a little bit. I'll break that eye contact to just ease it up. That's an extremely aggressive thing. And that was the only thing that the person was doing that was odd. So it led me to believe that this person was doing this deliberately. And, is what it is, but it's a very aggressive way to communicate and to, in this scenario, give feedback. So I just thought about that, and I thought that this would be a good opportunity to talk about communication as a point of developing yourself as a professional, as a person, and as a student that's navigating the world. You can't prepare students for every type of situation like that. But I think we can start at the level of communication, and I think we can teach these types of awareness activities of communication, just make them aware so that as they go through not only high school, but transition to college, they can really start mastering those things and be aware that the reason why maybe some people are not taking to you is just because you're not. There's something off. There's something that you're not matching with what you're actually trying to say. Some part of your communication is off, whether it's your stance, 2, your hand gestures, 3, your facial expressions, or 4, your vocal inflection and tonality and all the dynamic ranges of your voice. It's not always just the words we say. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you're able to take away a couple of things where you can start implementing these ideas of communication and start at least presenting this to your students. If you like today's episode, then hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification to be notified every time I release a new video. And if you like today's episode, then you'll probably check out and like this one right over here.